to the Whiskey Dictionary. It is first live stream in a few weeks. I finally got around to, I guess I would say, have enough time to do another live stream. So tonight we have the Wheel of Doom and lots of samples on here. Probably the usual, around 45 to 50 or so. It dwindles a little bit. Give me a quick little mic check, make sure everything's good. It's been a few weeks. I want to make sure I start off pretty well. Seems like everybody's good. So I am actually going to kind of jump right into a couple things. Once I'm kind of quick confirmation everything's good. Sorry, I have nobody to give me a mic check, you know. Yeah, Charles, the notifications on YouTube don't always happen super fast, which is pretty brutal. You guys are saying sound. Really? What the hell, man? I swear, it's... Alright, there, I just cranked it. Should be fine. Audio is a touch low, but nice and clean. Okay. Well, now it's probably super high and nice and clean. Alright, anyway, this is why I always ask. I wish I had somebody to help me do a little mic check beforehand, but I'm often rushing to the stage anyway. So, alright, let's talk about Whiskey Dictionary future stuff. So I am not going to do a live stream for a little while. I'm actually going to kind of stop live streaming probably until around November timeframe. I'll give you guys some insight just so there's no cause for worry or whatever, but oh, sorry. Yep. Ron, that's for you. There. Pen. All right. So anyway, I'm going to be stopping live streaming until around November timeframe. Just with everything going on between COVID, you know, I have young kids that are going back to school. My wife's a teacher. She's going back to school. My own personal work situation is brutal lately. Some of you that follow in Patreon have gotten a lot of insight into that. Everything's fine. Like, I have a job and everything. That's not the problem. It's more just that my job is crazy demanding at the moment. So anyway, just one extra thing to think about every week. I don't have time to put on the kind of show that I want to put on. So I'd rather give you guys nothing than bad quality, which I think is fair. Hey, Ron. Nice to see you. Anyway, yeah, so this pen real quick, just since you guys kind of heard about it. So actually, I think it was this year, I covered a whiskey called Barrel, not Barrel, what was it? It was Broken Barrel Distillery, and, or they blend actually, so they're not a distillery, but whatever. Anyway, so I got these 3 different whiskeys. One was Mizunara, one was Amontillado, and one was Peat. And I asked, you know, would you guys send me a stave from the different barrels that you're dealing with? So they sent me one of each, and this guy, Ron's wood turning shop and stuff, he asked for a piece of the stave so he could make me a pen out of it. And so I sent it along, and he did. And he sent me this cool little thing. I mean, the pen itself is really nice. And this is part of the stave as well, and it just fits right in there, and it's nice. And I had this on my desk at work for a long time, pre-COVID, and I wasn't able to get it back because they wouldn't let us into the office. So Ron, he kind of gives me crap pretty much every time I stream, just being like, hey, where's the pen? Where's the pen? And, you know, front and center there, buddy. So, please turn up volume. You guys are out of your minds. I'll turn it up more. I mean, the gain is high. The audio is good. Whatever. All right, let's go ahead and drink. And then I'm going to talk about a couple of news things. Just good stuff. So let's go ahead and pick a whiskey. All right. So of course this is half the reason I don't want to stream. Like, I put my kids to bed and I pretty much rush down here and immediately set up everything, and it's just never ready and it never feels professional, and it kills me. Because obviously I put a lot of time and effort into the formal videos that I do, and to have my live streams kind of not be 100% is killing me. All right, here we go. What pattern is that mic set on? Actually, did I change it? No, it's cardioid. It's fine. All right, stop bugging me about the mic as long as you can hear me, because you keep derailing me. All right, what do we got? We got the Tamdhu 10-year-old. All right, nice easy one to start out with. This is a Scotch. All right. Cool. All right, let's go ahead and have a little sippy. It was a fun project and went to a great guy. Thanks, Ron. Appreciate that. All right, so Tamdu, I know I believe I did the 12-year-old the last time I did one of these streams. So, seems appropriate. Smells really good. Hey, thanks, Charles. Appreciate that. They'll be ready in time for November. It just smells nice. It's a nice kind of grassy. What does Tam do? It's got I would guess it's a Highland maybe, or a Speyside. I should know this. Yeah, I'm not sure. If anybody wants to let me know. It smells more like a Highland than it does a Speyside, but that's also going very general. It could be either. Anyway, all right, so let's just go ahead and take a sip. Cheers. That's enjoyable. Nice way to start. Trying to think, though. I don't know that would be one I would just pick off the shelf to give to friends to sample. It's fine. Like, I would enjoy it, and I think I could really spend a little time with it and probably get a little bit out of it. It's also 10 years old, so I'm trying to be fair. But that wouldn't be one where I'd be, like, excited to have my friends try it out. What's up, Travis? All right, so a couple of other quick things. So well, you know what? I'll get into that later. But just in case anybody here is only watching like the first 10 minutes of this thing, I have a sale going on right now on the website for the glass toppers. They're normally $10. I put them down to $7.50. I just thought it'd be kind of nice to move some stock, get some cool new things for the studio here. And that's about it. So if you're interested, now's a good time to pick them up. I've sold a lot of them today already. I think, I probably have about 50 of them left. And I've probably sold about half that many already today. So, don't hesitate if you're interested at all. All right, let's talk about a couple of things. So these will be quick. So Old Forester, about 8 hours ago, actually announced their birthday bourbon for the year. And it's the 20th iteration, and it's going to release on Wednesday, September 2nd, in celebration of founder George Garvin Brown's birthday. This is the 150th year. The company began in 1870. If you remember, I did a thing on them somewhat recently to talk to you about Old Forester, just regular the 1920. But these are going to be based off of 10-year-old barrels and going to be bottled at, 98 proof. So 44%. No, sorry, 49%. Is that right? Yeah, 49%. Man, I wish that they would just pick ABV or proof. I guess the rest of the world, it's just like everything else. The rest of the world went with something, and the U.S. has to be different. Because why wouldn't we have a freaking weird-ass system of measurement? So let me know what you guys are sipping on out there. I know many of you kind of dig into your own samples. I get to hear about that quite a bit, and it's kind of fun. So if you have just like a random little bottle of something sitting around that maybe a friend gave you, tonight's a good night to go pull it out. Go experiment a little bit with me. So, having a cheap cigar and some Cedar Ridge to make my night better. Yeah, Travis, sounds pretty good. You're having a rough time though with that Wi-Fi. Tough to see. All right, so second little news story. This one was from, I don't know, less than a week ago, but feels like ancient at this point. So Blanton's Straight from the Barrel is going to be coming to the U.S. Now, many people who have kind of talked about this recently, it's pretty much being referred to as, like, that's great and all, but still not going to get a bottle of it because it's just not going to be available. And unfortunately, that's probably true. I wouldn't say you're late, Andrew, but, I mean, thing starts at 9. So, but anyway, so I don't envision myself actually ever being able to get a bottle of this, unfortunately. But if you live near the distillery, maybe you will be able to. We'll have to see. Certainly kind of getting a little old, the whole Blanton's thing. It's fine. I think Mash and Drum kind of put it perfectly, referring to it as Blanton's. He's not wrong. I don't know if I'd say it's bland, but I also don't think it's nearly worth the hype. It's just like anything else that gets overhyped. It's so hard to hold up to that amount of hype. And Blanton's does not, in my mind. Now, the bottle is cool looking, and that's about all it's got. And it does have the little horsey, so, I mean, that's a thing. But not a good reason to drink a whiskey. Pretty good birthday bourbon this year. Don't think it will be everyone's cup of tea. Very tropical. How the hell did you manage to get that already, Jason? I don't even understand, man. I'm living in the wrong state. Because I even talk to the people in the business that I know who can get stuff early, and they can't even get that kind of stuff that early. That's nuts. All right, so let's see. Yeah, for those of you that came in late, this is my last stream until November. I just kind of need a break. A lot of stuff going on. But that being said, I also do a ton of extra content on the Patreon, including a weekly like kind of first tasting video. So if that's something that you're into, that comes with any tier. There's also like a kind of like a newsletter format thing that I do every week. You get early access to videos. You get merchandise, all of this. Honestly, I do a lot for the patrons, probably more than I probably should at the behest of the channel. But anyway, all right, so I am drinking the Tamdhu 10-year-old. It's okay. It's grown on me a little bit. What is the ABV on this? It's 40. It drinks a little hotter than that, probably because it's young. Picking up the new Riff Rye tomorrow, along with Glenmorangie Lasanta Sherry Cask Single Malt Scotch. Are you familiar with the Glenmorangie? Yes, very much so. Although I have not had the Lasanta. Or Lasanta. I'm a new follower and whiskey drinker. Thanks for your advice and counsel, Christopher. Happy to see you. Going with Edredor, handpicked, finished in French wine cask. Nice. Finishing some Ardbeg and no. What'd you guys all think of the Ardbeg 10 versus the Ardbeg Wee Beastie? Cool style of video. I'm actually looking forward to doing more of those. I think I have 2 ideas coming up. And I think the next one, which is probably going to be next week's video, because I think I'm going to just jump ahead and film it, is, well, should I say what it is? I don't know. I don't think any other whiskey tubers are really jumping on this stuff, but whatever. So I'm going to do the Jameson IPA versus the Jameson Stout. I think that'll be a fun versus. And actually, honestly, probably like an informative one. Because I know before I bought both of them, I did not know which one I should drink or buy. After having tried both of them, I have a bit of an opinion now. But it'll be interesting to really dive deep into them and do some taste tests, compare and contrast. Benriach 10, huh? I reviewed that one a while back. What do you think, Craig? Good video. Really enjoying Wee Beastie. Awesome. All right, so let's go ahead and pick another one. I'm kind of flying through these because, I don't know, drinking's just a thing I do a lot of lately. I am a stress eater and apparently a stress drinker. But luckily, my stress in my life doesn't always last very long. Steve. This one is The Last of Your Stag Jr. Awesome. Yeah, you know, I could kind of expand it to that, Thomas. He's saying basically to do some of these verses and then have the winners go against each other. You know, like I know some people do brackets, and that's fair. You know, that's fine. They work really well for them. I don't really know. The brackets, it's just, see, here's my problem. I think the reason that my channel is not doing as well as I think it should do lately, I haven't been changing too much about it. I've just kind of always been into the whole informative history, talk about the whiskey. Like the nosing and tasting is like the minor part of the video, even though it does tend to take a little bit longer, but that's not really why I do the videos unless there's something really good that I want to taste. Like, well, it's not up there anymore, but the Joseph Magnus that's coming out this week, that one I really liked. But things like that, like, I don't know. Like I look at some of the other channels doing like all these list videos and stuff, and they do really, really, really well to do list videos, but it feels so cheap to me. I never really have been just that big of a fan of the concept. Like, they're fine, and some of my biggest videos are list videos. It just feels shallow to me. Not anything against those channels. More saying for the concept of what I want my channel to be, it feels shallow. Do you know what I mean? Like shallow as in not in depth, not necessarily like shallow person kind of thing. That's not what I'm trying to get at. All right, anyway, Stag Jr. So 64.85. That's going to be fun. Whoo, it smells good. I would like a pen like Bill's. Yeah, Ron, I can make that happen if you send me the stave. Nice. Yeah, well, you know, Ron, don't sell yourself short. You should charge for these things. They're good. I know you do it for fun, but you'd talk to me about kind of like what it would kind of cost, you know? I have no idea. I don't know what your materials are, but like it's a cool looking pen. I will say the stave is more like, more just like a cool place to hold it. There's nothing really special about it other than you did kind of maintain it, but the pen itself, it's really nice. Actually, that's funny. I just wiped it. It still has the kind of like the smoke char on it. All right, DM me please. Oh yeah, all right. Yeah, Craig, maybe a little clickbaity every now and then, and it isn't a bad thing. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I should just listen to you guys instead. That's another thing. I'm always worried that I'm gonna just like kill off my existing audience that's been watching for years if I start doing clickbaity stuff. But maybe I need to worry less about that and just do it. But I don't know. We'll see. All right, Stag Junior. Hell yeah. Whatever. Cheers. Oh, that's good. Oh, man. Damn it, Steve. I had almost forgotten how delicious this was and how much I'm sad that I can't find them. So I think I might have told you guys this. Actually, no, I guess I wouldn't have. I would have told you last week. So I found a local store. It's a local liquor store who is actually interested in selling the Whiskey Dictionary. Now, the funny thing is I just ran out of them. So I don't even have like 10 of them I could give them to kind of test it out. Gotta place another order, which is fine. I don't mind placing another order. That's actually kind of awesome that they've sold out. But what I'm interested in is those of you that use them all the time, or even sometimes, if there's anything that you've found just in practice that could be improved about it. Because I would like to possibly reevaluate any of it. You know, if there's something I can do that would make it better, then awesome, let me know. So. Hey, Connor. Nice to see you. Oh, this is so good. So, this is just driving me crazy. You guys probably can't hear this, but in case you hear like this low hum, I have a hot tub right up there. So I'm in my basement, and it's right over there. And it keeps doing something. But it shouldn't do this frequently, so it's kind of driving me crazy. Anyway. All right, so let's talk about birthday bourbon for a minute, because I've kind of wanted to get my hands on a bottle of that. I know Mash and Drum said that there might not be everybody's cup of tea. If you're still in Mash and Drum, I'd be interested to know what... I'd like to know what you think. Like, what makes it not people's cup of tea. Just because I'd be curious about really making an effort to get a bottle this year. And if it's going to end up kind of sucking, then maybe I won't. I don't think you need to do the Punish Yourself videos, Bill. I think if I did a version of the Johnny Walker Red Proper 12 video, except they are your 3 favorite whiskeys and compare, that would be fun to watch. Yeah, that's a good point. Periodic running. I've been hearing an intermittent hum. Was thinking it was electronic interference. Yeah, it's driving me absolutely insane. I'm sorry, this is like the worst live stream ever. It's just driving me absolutely nuts. I guess I need to just ignore it. I need to drink more. Cheers. So tell me what you guys have been up to. Any big happenings going on? Here we're now that I'm 100% work from home now. They shut down the office. This is part of the badness that's happened over the last few weeks. I guess I could kind of go into a little bit of that. So my office or my company itself is doing wonderful. You know, we've actually done great as far as making money during COVID and just over the last year. We've made a profit. Our stock has gone up. Everything's great. They shut down everything in March, you know, along with everybody else. And I want to say end of August, actually the end of this month, they decided that they were going to shut down my office, like my physical location. And everybody kept their jobs. We're just 100% remote now. And that's sad, you know? It's weird, but I guess it's not really that weird. I've been working there for 7 years, like 7.5 years actually. And just not having a place to go anymore is sad. Even though I haven't been there really in like 5 months, knowing that we'll never go back, you know? Like I was a software engineer when I started there, and then I became a senior, and I became a manager, and now I'm a director. And, you know, I had my first 2 kids while I was working there. I got married while I was working there. Bought my first house while I was working there. I have just a ton of memories. And a lot of people that have come and gone through there that I was very friendly with. Just a sad thing to see, you know? And I'm sad for anybody else who might find themselves in the same situation, because it's tough to know that, like, this desk, like, this is where I work all day. I have these 3 monitors that I pull up from down there, and, like, that's my work desk. And this is just where I'm going to be for the next X number of years, you know? And this whole thing just kind of sucks. I realize that's a bit of an understatement, but, you know, it's real. Like, we're drinking, we're talking. And right now, the stuff I want to talk about is real stuff. I could be a goof, and I could, you know, make stupid comments if you'd like, but, like, right now, this is the stuff that's on my mind. It's the stuff that has made it so I haven't streamed in the last couple of weeks. And for the next several weeks as well. So, anyway, all right. Letting you guys know a few things that are coming up. So I've got a first taste this week, actually. I'd be curious to know what all of you guys think about Bunnahabhain. I have a Bunnahabhain 12, and the first taste is coming out on Friday on Patreon. And, you know, I know several of you guys are obviously patrons, so you follow me, whatever, and a little spoiler alert, I guess. I don't love it as much as I thought I would. And for a name like Bunnahabhain that's just so well known, I guess, among people like us, I was surprised. I thought it was going to be better. My thought is maybe it's going to maybe it'll open up a little bit as time goes, but initially it was not very good. Not bad. It just was a letdown. Now, it's also the 12. Maybe I could go for a higher age range and like it more, but I'm curious to know if any of you have thoughts about it. All right, let's see. What did I miss? So Ron's wood turning shop. You're retiring October 1st. That's fantastic. Let's see. Congrats to you. Working from home may become the norm for a lot of places, even after the virus. Yeah, no, it totally does. Sucks not to see your coworkers. Yeah. You know, slightly larger size for the dictionary would be killer, but love the concept in current size. Thanks, Ron. Wife is working from home. She doesn't mind it because she doesn't have to commute. Yeah, not going into a city. That's going to be a really interesting thing to see how COVID affects people's desire to have a location in cities. Now, I think like New York City, Boston, you know, maybe somewhere in California or whatever, I'm sure a few other places are always going to be the place to be. If you have a company that's going to be like kind of a main hub because people can fly in if they have to. But some of the smaller cities, be curious to see how they suffer from this. It's going to be interesting. Let's see. What pushed me over the edge was having to teach first aid CPR on Zoom along with Smith driving and other need to be there type classes. Yeah, that's tough. So Travis and Craig both love Bunnahabhain, but let's not be trying to advertise non-topical endeavors, please. Oh, thanks, Steve. No idea what you're talking about, but I'll whatever. Found a 4-year-old Bunnahabhain, I don't even know how to say that word, Stayosha heavy peat that is the best peated whiskey I've ever had. Okay, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me, or maybe it was just that first impression. But I think I need to try it again. So. I am sad to see that stag go. So let me ask you guys, the brain trust of the Whiskey Dictionary here. I'm feeling like reviews aren't the future of WhiskeyTube. I think that between most whiskey tubers, you can find a review on anything that's not new. And I think that's fair. You know, getting your favorite whiskey tuber's opinion about the nose and taste, because, you know, maybe you relate to their palate or whatever. That's always going to be important. It will always kind of be the bread and butter of the channels. So I'm curious, are there any whiskeys that you guys would like to actually see a review of? Now, I don't ask that question all that much because, frankly, I've got a ton of whiskeys that I still have to plow through. But I'm curious, like, what do you guys actually want to see that I haven't done on the channel before? And if you don't know the channel well enough to just have the, you know, freaking 200-something reviews off the top of your head, Just name whatever. But it'd be interested to know if there's something that you guys would actually like to see. All right. It's definitely just me. Yeah. 15-year-old Kalila for 47. That's fantastic. That's a great price. Opens up a bit after the neck pour. Yeah, I think that's probably gonna be it. And it's funny. By the time I do the video, I'm probably gonna love it. That happens a lot. All right, let's pick another whiskey here. Macallan M. That was always the intent. Ooh, this is a good one, or at least appears to be. Port Dundas, 18-year, 43% single grain. Okay, why not? Never tried it. Teachers. I've heard that one a lot, actually. I'm curious, how did you guys even learn about Teachers? Because I don't know that I've ever seen it. And this is always the problem, I get stuff over here pretty late compared to most others. Did it just show up on some sort of thing that you read about new whiskeys available, or is it something that you tried somewhere? Or so Andrew A to Z, if you look, there's a playlist called the Full Whiskey Dictionary and has all of my reviews in it. I want to say there's probably about 150 or so of them. Angel's Envy also is fabulous. Yeah. Angel's Envy is one that I've picked up and put down more times than I can count. I always want to get the regular bourbon, and then I look at the rye, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to get the rye too. I haven't seen the finished. They have a cask strength port finish or something like that. Obviously that's going to be kind of rare, but never seen it either. But the amount of times I've picked up and down the Angel's Envy, I should really just do it. I can't tell if it's the glass or the whiskey. I swear, I think there was a time that these glasses went through the dishwasher and just didn't get rinsed very well. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. On YouTube, yep, Andrew. Teachers is the poor man's smoky grouse. Okay. Not a whole lot of no's on this. I know I'm just kind of not at all giving nosing and tasting notes. I've never been good at them. Mostly just on here to chat. I'm trying to try more craft distilleries, and as a bourbon lover, I'm trying to move more into Scotch. A lot of it is too sweet for me. That's a fair point. Yeah, no, I need to, Steve, for sure. I know they're hand wash only, but when I have people over and we go through 20 of them, it's just and we're hammered at the end of the night, they're just all going in the dishwasher. What I should do is give them a rinse before I go put them away. Yeah, no, trust me, I totally know better. I just it also comes, sometimes other people in my family put them in the dishwasher rather than me. But to be fair, some other people in my family often wake up to a sink full of Glencairns after a live stream or after me filming a whole bunch of episodes. So, I'm not going to complain if they want to do dishes. All right. Let's go ahead and have a taste of this because, yeah, totally excuses. You're right. Let's have a taste of this guy. Cheers. Better than I was expecting. You know what I like about Scotch? I find that I really like fruity tastes in my whiskeys. And I don't know if I'm going through a phase because I also love peated whiskeys. So I don't think it's kind of like a, guy who likes to drink pomegranate martinis or whatever the hell they drink. It's not that. I love peated whiskeys. I love bourbons. I love scotches. Actually, I really love everything. But when I get a scotch that tastes fruity, it's always just nice. And I wonder if it's just because it's it's not so challenging, It's more relaxing. When something that you do frequently, as I do, and most of you, is taste something for evaluation purposes rather than necessarily enjoyment, Although that happens too. Don't get me wrong. I find it's easy when you can taste something and just be like, oh, it just tastes like berries, or it just tastes like apple, or it tastes like pear. That's always nice, you know. And if you want to dig a little bit more, you can. But in this case, this is like mixed berries. With a little burn, just a tad. It's not as smooth as I would expect at an 18-year-old, but it does have some really good taste. The Angel's Envy Rye Rum Cask Finish. Geez, that's a mouthful. Is a dessert whiskey. You can pour it over your pancakes or add it to a vanilla malt shake. Never tried pouring bourbon on my pancakes, but it's not to say it won't happen. Not to say I haven't had an episode written on pretty much exactly that for about a year and a half and just have not done it. Doing the cooking episodes is always really fun. I'm really looking forward to doing the chili that I put up the recipe for a while back. Bourbon chili. Oh my god, if you guys haven't made it, like, I realize it's my own video and I'm promoting it, whatever, but like, just go watch that video and make the recipe. It's so freaking good. It's I'm sure there's a playlist about like recipes or cooking or something like that. There is there's a tag on this shirt, and I've watched it like a dozen times. Whatever, that was driving me crazy. Sorry about that. All right, let's just down this guy. I have a feeling this is just going to be one of those streams where I just drink and talk about nothing. So, you know, it's that. Cheers. Just kicking back 18-year-old scotches. Why not? Yeah, I'm not as big of a fan of rum influence as others would be. What are some scotches that you find fruit forward? That's a great question. Let's think. Glenlivet comes immediately to mind. What else? Oh, actually, this guy right here, the Enoch. That one is absolutely delicious. Pretty fruity. A lot of the 12-year-old versions of scotches, unless it's specifically, let's even just say a 12-year-old Speyside Scotch almost always tastes like fruit to me, unless it's specifically got like peated influence or something like that. So pretty much anything. But wow, all right. Apparently my brain's not working either. This is another freaking reason. Like, I'm exhausted, man. I'm really just tired. It's tough. I'm whiskey tubing every single day. And I realize I'm complaining to people who don't care. But it's more just, commiserating, I guess. You know, you work like 10-hour day and then you do a book report on a whiskey. So, which isn't as much fun as it sounds because most of it's not drinking. The fun part is doing the nosing and tasting. That's super fun. But it's been harder and harder to do it at a time that's reason. Like, I'm doing a lot of times at like 11:30 at night, and I'm just like, oh, it's 11:30, time to crack a whiskey. So, I'm sorry, Mark. You're right. I'm totally burnt out. Oh, do you add bacon? I had never tried adding bacon to that, James. You're totally right. That would be great. What are some... All right. Sister-in-law made a whiskey cake last week. Holy moly, it was amazing. But a half cup of... What? Half cup of bourbon. Pretty sure it was putting a smile on everyone's face. That sounds good. Was it kind of like a bundt cake kind of thing? Like a molasses kind of thing with a bunch of bourbon in it? Like a upside down kind of cake, you know? Bourbon's such a good ingredient for desserts. Whenever I smell my glass, I want to make a reduction. Yes, me too. Me too, man. All right, let's pick another one. For anybody this is the very first live stream that you're ever seeing, I promise my quality is normally a lot higher than this. I didn't want to just disappear because I didn't want anybody to get the wrong idea that maybe I was like, you know, done with the channel or something like that, because that's not the case. It's totally just done doing live streams. It's disheartening. I guess. I don't know. Not really. Disheartening is not the right word. All right, let's I'm rinsing out the glass this time. I'm actually just gonna dump that back, because if there is anything gross in there, I don't want to drink it. Luckily, I have a backup bottle of water. All right. Night, Charles. Bourbon chicken. So this one's from Carl Ivy. This is a Blood Oath. Yep, this is the last of the Blood Oath Pact 4. Let's go ahead and pour that guy. Bourbon Bananas Foster over vanilla ice cream. Yeah. There's no reason I couldn't do an episode on that too. What's next to buy after Ardbeg 10? Thank you guys so much for the questions. As you can tell, I'm pretty directionless tonight, and I had no time to prep. It's the whole friggin' point of this whole like last stream thing. So I really appreciate the questions. Keep them coming, because it'll totally give me some direction. I've got good stuff to say. I just have no direction tonight. What's next to buy after Ardbeg 10 for an intermediate peaty scotch? I've been sharing your old-fashioned recipe with friends a lot. A new favorite in our group. Oh, that's so awesome, Troy. That's really good. I made an old-fashioned for a few people that came over the other night. And same thing. They love it. I can't claim it's mine. It's a pretty classic old-fashioned recipe, but, deciding to well, whatever. I should say, actually, I don't make the old-fashioned recipe. I make kind of like a newer version of it where you do kind of muddle all this stuff together. Anyway, all right, so to answer your question, where should a peat drinker go after Ardbeg 10 for an intermediate peaty scotch? Now, I would go right up the line, frankly. If you want to go to Ardbeg Ugadale or Ardbeg Corey Vrecken, excuse me, personally, I would suggest the Corey Vrecken, one of my favorite peated scotches. I just think it's absolutely delicious. If you're looking to just obliterate your senses with peat, probably other things that you could do that with. You should try a Laphroaig 10 if you haven't tried it before. Like if you've done the Ardbeg 10 and you want to try something completely, mostly different, do a Laphroaig 10. They're a different type of peat taste. But I think you should go for the Corey Vrecken. I think you're going to just love it. It's one of my favorite peated whiskeys ever. That's within a reasonable price range, I should say. All right. Yeah, you gotta muddle those cherries, man. Oh, Luxardos. I introduced people to Luxardos this last weekend. I've mentioned before, we have two families that we are quarantining with, if you want to call it that. Just we're all doing about the same amount of precautions, and we're all still hanging out together. We all have kids about the same age, so it's like we're doing everything we can, but still remaining somewhat very minorly social. Anyway, so these two guys, they came over, and I started we had some beers, and then we started with a whiskey sour, which I actually have an improvement, if you want to think about it, from my whiskey sour recipe, more in a way to make it more lazy man. So I bought a whole bunch of lemons. Actually, in this case, it was only 4, but they were big lemons. And I actually bought a bottle to store the lemon juice in, because I find that if I want a whiskey sour, the reason I don't make one is because I don't want to bother squeezing the lemon and dealing with the mess and blah, 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 blah. So when I found myself more motivated in the middle of the day, I squeezed all 4 lemons. I even had the kids help, actually. And I put all the juice into the bottle. And it's got one of those caps where like you put the cap on top and then you kind of like click it down and it sticks it in there. And I put the simple syrup into another bottle that has a spout on it. And there you go. Now all I have to do is pour. And that is pretty damn lazy. So consider a way to pour to squeeze your lemons ahead of time. That way you can still have fresh lemons or fresh lemonade without having to buy like the pre-done lemon mix. Not mix, sorry. You could have fresh squeezed lemon juice from like earlier in the day rather than having the, pre-packaged lemon juice things, which do taste fine, but are more meant for cooking, at least in my mind. All right. Turned out really well. I tried the new old-fashioned. Sorry, there's a pipe above me, and every time that water goes through it, it's my wife's doing dishes. So, all right, I tried the new old-fashioned with pears and grapefruit. Pears and grapefruit. That sounds interesting. I might have to try that. Did you give it a name, Troy? Because you might. I've never seen that recipe before. Not that I've looked, but that'd be interesting to know. Just got some Glenmorangie original, and it's nice, but not too nice. Yeah, I'm with you, Chris. Yeah, nah, Chris, you're right. Glenmorangie Original is pretty fruity, but it's also kind of boring. Like, it's good. It's something that everybody should have. Somebody should try. You can find it in almost every bar, so you should try it. But there's better. You know, even in the Glenmorangie line, there's better. Like the Laphroaig as well. We'll go up the Ardbeg line. Yeah, good call, Troy. Really hoping you will continue review videos. I really enjoy those. Yeah, Ron, I'll definitely be doing those. Those are always going to be the bread and butter of the channel for sure. They're somewhat easier to film, even with the research. And until I have ideas for variants, then those are what I do. So just kind of work through the line. What I am going to run out of is whiskeys to do my first tastes of. Only because I don't review the whiskeys as fast as I have to buy them to do one of those every week, which is totally fine. My collection has grown. I want to say I'm close to 145 bottles now. It's grown like 30 bottles probably since like early summer. It's grown like 30 bottles. What's another good mid-tier Irish to try along the lines of Writers, Tears, Sexton, Teeling? Okay, this is one I can definitely answer, but I need a second to think about it. Mid-tier Irish. Writers, Tears, Sexton, and Teeling. So, I mean, Teeling would have been a good answer. Sexton is pretty low. Like I would think of Sexton as being low tier. Good Irish whiskey. How about Proper 12? That's a really good Irish whiskey. Oh, so good. Oh my god. No. Ran out of oranges, old fashioned. I like that. Pears are definitely something different and pretty interesting. Steep some cherry berry tea bags into a simple syrup for adding to an old fashioned in place of just simple syrup. Cherry berry tea bags. Why not? Huh. Are you excited for any upcoming bourbon or scotch release? So, Lost Cats. I've been one Lost Cats. Oh, One Lost Cats. Okay, or One Lost Cause. Jeez, letters. That's a tough one. One Lost Cause. I was really looking forward to the Redbreast 2027 that just came out, and I almost pulled the trigger on it. It's $400 bottle, $420, $450, depending on where you go. That one I was super looking forward to. I just couldn't make myself do it. But as far as like affordable things go, I don't know. Not really. I'm sure there's something, just nothing that I know of at the moment. I'm still going through a lot of the old classics. I've never even reviewed Jim Beam. Just regular Jim Beam. Any of them, really. I should probably do that at some point, too, huh? But I did just buy the Balvenie 12, which I've had a bottle of before, and I actually have a good like personal story about Balvenie 12, which will come out. I'll be reviewing that in a few weeks or so. But that one I'm looking forward to drinking a little bit. Hey, Bourbon Journey. Stop being such a dick. I don't wanna. Ooh, this one's good. Blood Oath Pact 4. I know that we did the whole like gambit. We did 1 through 5, maybe. I have no idea what I picked as one of my favorites, but I would like to think this one was up there because this is really good. However, who knows? You know, because I think most of them were really good. I do remember there was one stinker in there, one that I think most of us put as our last. But good stuff. How am I doing on time? All right, good. I got like 15 minutes left, and I've got 2 more whiskeys to plow through. I like to do 6. I like to try to do 1 every 10 minutes or so, which doesn't give a whole lot of flavor, time to savor the flavor. Hey, Mash and Drum. So I don't know if you dropped out for a while. I was asking you earlier, what makes that birthday bourbon? What makes you say that it's kind of not going to be everybody's cup of tea? Because I've been thinking about trying to really find one and actually picking one up no matter what the price. Not on secondary, but like, you know, really searching for it. But if it's going to be one that's going to disappoint, maybe I'll wait till next year. So also might be a little hard because it's, you know, the 150th year anniversary. You're going to have those jerk collectors out there that are going to snatch them up. All right, I'm going to put this one aside because this is really good, and I kind of want to savor that one a little bit more. So let me put that over there. And all right, I'm gonna pick another one. What are some other good peated Irishes besides Connemara? Oh, damn, that would have been my obvious choice. Oh, I still didn't answer the question about the other Irish whiskey either. So let me, before I pour another one. All right, so peated Irish. I really don't know that there's many of them. In fact, I think Connemara might be one of the only ones. I know that they have some sort of claim to fame, like either they're the first ones to do it or they're the best or something like that. I can't think of any other peated Irish whiskeys though. If anybody else has one, feel free to put it in the chat. What is the most would spend on B-Day bourbon? I have no idea what it normally goes for. So that's part of the question. Just so that I can personally try it. I don't know. What does it normally go for? Hey, Eric. What's the most? There are a few more that are aging, but nothing out there yet. Do you buy from secondary market? I've never once bought from the secondary market. I don't believe in it. It's tough because there's stuff that I see that I would like to purchase. I just don't want to encourage anybody on the second market. You know, I think it's a shitty thing to do. So, you know, I'll put that out there. It's not exactly a crazy concept. I just don't want to support people that are resellers. I think it's a terrible type of person to be. All right, what do we got? Ooh, topical. Whoops. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I should probably go over that. So I have 3 new patrons that joined in the last month. Sorry, I like to do this in the first couple minutes here. Matt, Heinsberg, and Ron. Ron is in the chat for sure right now. I think I saw Matt earlier. I could be wrong. And Heinsberg, I'm not sure if he's in the chat. I have not seen him. All right. Seen it in New Jersey for 500. Okay, yeah, no, I'm not buying it for 500. That is a word that social norms do not allow me to say anymore. That begins with R. Let's just say ridiculous. All right. Cheers to you, Bill. I have the same thoughts on the secondary market. Yeah. I know someone who paid $1,500 for a birthday bourbon, so don't hold your breath on what it's worth. Jeez, man, that's just stupid. What are people doing with their lives? Like, I get that people have a lot more money. Like, I'm fine, you know, money-wise, I'm fine, but like, I could afford that. But God, I would never freaking do that. That's like crossing the line into just being dumb. Like, donate it to a charity, you know? Like, there's just no sense in paying $1,500 for a bourbon. That's just dumb, man. That's like disappointing. All right. So anyway, this is Blanton's Gold, 51.5%. Oh, that's upsetting. It's funny. I was sitting here thinking like, I might pay $200 for a birthday bourbon just to have it. But man, what was the thing? Friggin' like, is the bottle weird? Like, it was a special edition or something? Like, what is? I would think that right now would be the one that people are going to spend more money on, the 150th anniversary. That's freaking stupid. I'm sorry. I'm just like, that like ruined my day. It really shouldn't have, but I'm just very disappointed in some people. Blanton's Gold. I mean, I have a bottle of this. Smells like Blanton's Gold. People that pay that much don't want the whiskey. They want the people to see it as a trophy on their bar. Yeah, no, I get that. I guess that mentality. Yeah, see, exactly. I have no idea what it's worth. Old Forester birthday bourbon, like $200 is what you would pay if you won the right to go buy it. Yeah, man. Rather use it to go to... what a disappointment about Austin, huh? Yeah, that's sad. But actually, so I don't know if any of you guys are hopping over to the Whiskey Crusaders in about 10 minutes or so, but you should. We may have something lined up to do, but it's not my thing to talk about. So I'll let Matt talk about it if you want to, or if he wants to. I was at a bar in ruralish DFW. Man, it's funny that I even know whatever. All right. And accidentally ordered a poor Whistle Pig's hot Whistle Pig's Boss Hog 4. I randomly selected a Whistle Pig bottle that I hadn't had before, not knowing anything about it, what it was. How much did it cost you, Troy? I'm curious. I think the bottles go for around that at the time, and I'd never go for the whole bottle. Yeah, no, the bottles of Whistle Pig's releases, they're like $400 to $600 depending on the one that you pick. They used to be a little cheaper, like $350, I think. But the whole thing is just stupid. Everybody's stupid. Just pay like $50 for a whiskey, or $100 for something that you want. It is one regret I have that WhiskeyTube has become a thing, is that we are not directly responsible for driving up prices of things yet, but it is absolutely becoming. It's definitely going to happen. You know, for example, Monkey Shoulder, right? Pick any whiskey that is more universally suggested for beginners to Scotch drinking than Monkey Shoulder, although personally I disagree. It is on my beginner Scotch guide, so I mean, like, I don't entirely disagree, but I do not think it's this end-all be-all. If you have nothing else to say, just say Monkey Shoulder. I think there's a dozen better options out there, and there might be a video about that coming out soon. But I feel like we've probably added to some of the popularity of Monkey Shoulder indirectly, and it's almost sad because they've only really done Monkey Shoulder. They have that Smoky Monkey, which nobody has ever seen. You know, I think the Whiskey Vault did a episode on it, but I haven't seen anybody else do it. I would be curious to know if like Matt from Whiskey Crusaders has a bottle of that. It wouldn't surprise me if he did, just because of his collection, but that's a hard one to get. And like, you have to know somebody to send it to you, right? So anyway, I think Monkey Shoulder is totally overhyped, like completely overhyped. On the same vein as, like, well, so I was gonna say on the same vein as Blanton's, except you can actually get Monkey Shoulder, but I do think that people are like, oh, Monkey Shoulder, but it doesn't have the horsey on it, so it's tough to say. In a way, I would say it's similar to the overhype that Blanton's has. Everybody's just like, oh, Blanton's, oh, Monkey Shoulder, you know, same thing, whatever. All right, Facebook whiskey groups have helped. Somebody posts about McKenna Bottled and Bond winning an award, and now yeah, exactly, James, exactly. But that's still, like, there's always been that influence from winning awards and everything, and you know, the Bible, the Whiskey Bible, telling you to whatever their top pick for the year is. Hell, look at Crown Royal Rye. Totally fine whiskey, honestly, for Canadian whiskey. That one is one of my favorites, but you know, like, it's not whiskey of the year. It should be whiskey of the year. Literally nothing from Crown Royal should ever be whiskey of the year. All right, let's kick this guy back. Well, I don't want to kick back Blanton's, but whatever. Blanton's gold, but I do kind of want to get to the one more bottle. I'm racing the clock now. All right. Do it anyway. All right, I'm gonna pick one more thing. I'm gonna aim for the center so it's not a big bottle. Let's go wheel options here. You know what? Let's get dramatic here. Do. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, Jesus. All right. I was busy playing with the buttons on the computer and I didn't pay attention to what I was doing. All right, Compass Box Juveniles. I feel like that is one that maybe I shouldn't have after having all of these, but I'm going to do it anyway. Hey, thanks, Archie. Appreciate it. All right, I'm going to rinse this one out, too. I pried of the monkeys from a bottle of monkey... Oh, you pried off the monkeys from a bottle of Monkey Shoulder and made a keychain out of it. That's cool. I didn't... Nothing like broke. Nothing was a problem. All right, so Steve's yelling no, and I do want to make sure that you're not saying I shouldn't have the juveniles. Okay, he's saying don't do the juveniles. If it's that good, I mean, my palate is blown at this point. I'll put this one back. Back. All right. Thanks, Steve. Good looking out. Let's pick something else. Okay, this one's a good one to end on. High West Double Rye Scotch. Double Rye Scotch? Oh, Scotch finish. Okay. Okay. 51%. Why not? All right, everybody. Well, for anybody who's here now who was not earlier, this is the last pour on a live stream until sometime in November. Hopefully. Just kind of taking a break. Normal reviews and whatever else videos every week. Just no more live streams. I need a break. Steve, I do appreciate that you're looking out for me, because if it's that good that you're willing to stop me, I'm happy. That does not taste, or it doesn't smell like a High West profile. And I know High West is MGP, or at least it was for a long time. High West Double Rye Scotch. Huh. Well, so actually, let me clarify a little bit too. Only because I don't want to give the wrong impression here. I don't like my live streams the way that they are. I don't feel like they're good. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't feel like they're good. Tonight was not a good live stream. It was a hangout, which is fun. Hangouts are great, and I'm happy for every one of you that showed up. But there's a mild entertainment value, right? I want to come back in November, and I want to have something worthy of the channel. You know? Like, I can be better than this. The Wheel of Doom is cool. I love it. I think it's a cool concept. I can do it better. I want to have more guests, right? The guests are fun, but they got to be the right guests. They have to be good people. They have to be entertaining. They have to be interesting. I want to have more YouTuber hangouts. Those are just awesome. You don't need anything. Those are just good. You know, and I want some new formats. I want to do something that's going to compete, you know? Like seeing the Bourbon Junkies pulling down like 700 people into their stream. There's an audience out there. I want some of that audience. I want some of those people. And I want to, I'm not like a frat bro, like some of the, like those guys. It's not, I'm not going to get the same audience as them, but you know, looking at It's Bourbon Night, you know, like It's Bourbon Night, they're like nice people, and they're, you know, 3-4 times my numbers as well. You know, really, honestly, everybody's channel, everybody's live stream seems to do better than mine. And so that's a sign that I'm doing something wrong and I want to improve. And that's the whole point. So other than the break I need a break, which is fair, but I appreciate that. I need a break, but I more want to work on the channel. I want to do something cool, and I want to do something fun. And I'm going to have this whole new space. I started talking about this earlier. We're redoing this whole basement. We're going to be putting a couple of rooms. There's going to be like an office over there, and this whole area, which you guys totally can't see, but you know what? Screw it. It's the end of the stream. You guys can see it. All right, so check this out. I'm going to screw up my thing here, and I'm going to take this off. So this is what I look at when I'm filming. It's a little bright, obviously. But there's my camera. There's like my lights and everything. There's a treadmill over there. Like all of this stuff is moving. We're going to be putting up framing. We're going to be doing all this stuff. There's a couch there, which we only just put there. And then kind of like over here. Hold on one second. This is tied around. So over there, we're going to be blocking out this whole area so that I have a big, huge space. And I'm going to be painting the walls. I'm going to be putting up stuff. I'm going to be doing a whole lot of stuff to this downstairs area to make it an actual studio. Sorry. There we go. I'm going to be making an actual studio down here. And I'm going to be doing something cool. And I want like almost different sets for what I'm doing. And there's no reason I can't do that. You know, I could sit on that couch and I could review a whiskey. I could sit here and I could do a live stream. I could friggin' do anything I want. I have green screens. I could do everything. And use it as a casting couch. Well, Eric, my wife wouldn't be psyched about that, but I wouldn't be disheartened. Anyway, so I've just got grand plans, and I've never taken the time to really realize them. And it's tough. It's tough to see how good the channel could be and not realize it because, frankly, like, my real job should come first. But with this room down here being different, I think I can really turn that into something. I think I can use that as a catalyst for some change. So, anyway, all right. I think it's 10 o'clock. I don't want to step on Matt's time. And, yeah, no, you're totally right, Lost Cause. But I don't want to get into that. I'm trying not to be negative on any of the other channels because it's just not productive, and frankly, I don't really feel that way. If anything, it's jealousy. And that's not who I am anyway. So I just want to be better for you guys. The people who have show up to these streams whenever I do them, you're awesome. And frankly, I really appreciate it. Those of you that support me on Patreon, like, it's incredible. There's people who have supported me on Patreon since I started it. And that's like 4 years. Insane. It's incredible. Doing the different merchandise is super fun. The fact that I just sold out of the Whiskey Dictionary, like, that's a thing I conceptualized. I turned it into a book. Like, that's legit, like, a bucket list item for me was, it was always to write a book, but that's cliche. Everybody has that on theirs. I kind of, cut the expectation at, like, publish something or make something, sell it, a book that people will want. And that, I met that goal. It's pretty awesome. I'm psyched about that. And the fact that they sold out, like, I'm kind of thinking about buying some more, selling it at a store. Like, that's out of control. I can't even believe I hit that goal in my life. But anyway, I'll leave it there. So thank you, everybody, for joining me here on the Whiskey Dictionary. I will see you again for live streams in November. And I'll see you for a review of Joseph Magnus in a couple of days. And I look forward to talking to you all in Discord. For anybody who is a patron, thank you again, as always. For those of you that are new to Patreon, thank you again. And go enjoy the Whiskey Crusader stream. It's probably going to be a good one. So I'll talk to you all later. Have a great rest of your night. Cheers.